Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on this channel. Today we will speak about everything related to tilesets. Now the reason I decided to go for this topic is because there have been some complaints for quite a while now on the HMA Discord server, because working with tilesets is either not clear enough or already existing tutorials only cover advanced map, or they simply are not explaining everything detailed enough. So I will try to cover and provide as much information as possible to make tilesets hopefully more clear to you. However, I want to mention that this tutorial won't cover the three following things. The first being tileset animation. The reason for this is there is already a great tutorial or guide, I should say, by Haven. Let me show you. It's this one. I'm gonna link the link in the video description later, and he did a really great job at explaining stuff, and as you can see at the end he made a great animation for the grass. The second thing that the video will not cover is door animations. That is because Hexmaniac Advance actually is not able to do that, so you need an external program called Door Animation Editor, and you can find more information on that on Poker Community. The third thing this tutorial is not going to cover is tileset fading, which is basically lighting up your windows, doors and lampposts at night. That would just make the video a bit too long. It will be very long already. So yeah, it's not going to be part of this. Yeah, with that all being clear, let's get right into it. So the most common confusion I've heard about on the Discord server is between the terms tile, tileset or tilesheet, block, blockset, palette, and primary and secondary when it comes to this. So we're going to speak about every single word like with an example. So the first one is being tile. Let's jump right into this here. Secondary. So the tile is actually the smallest puzzle piece of all, which is always 8 pixel vertical and 8 pixel horizontal in size. So as you can see here, let me mark it. This entire square here, which is 8x8 pixels, this is one tile, okay? So all these tiles together, they are basically a collection, right? Like a lot of small tiles. They are called the tile set or the tile sheet. You can call it whatever you want. That is basically it for the tiles and the tile set already. So let's get back here. So what is a block now? You see we also have block and block set. Well, a block is, for example, this rock here. And a block is always made out of 8 tiles, so the small ones we just spoke about, the puzzle pieces. 4 of those 8 tiles are meant for the foreground and the other 4 for the background. This way it allows us to create some more unique and diverse blocks, like as you can see here. Those are both the same rock but with a different background, right? So there's more diversity in our block set. Speaking of the block set, it's just like the tile set for the tiles is the block set for the blocks. It's just a collection of all your blocks you created, right? So yeah, that's about that. So the next important thing, let's go back here, are the palettes which are used for the tiles. Let's go to our image editor again. So as you can see, our little house right here, it uses palette page number 7, okay? Every single palette page has 15 colors, starting from this index slot here and going all the way down here. The first color is always the transparency color. So if we check out our little rock again, you can see its background is completely dark blue, right? It's the first color, so it's the transparency color, as you can see here. This way it allows us to still see the background. Everything that is not transparent in the foreground won't show its background behind it, okay? So only the transparent, aka the dark blue stuff here, does. So let's get back to the image editor. We just spoke about how many colors there are and the transparency color, but there are also different palette pages, as you can see. So everything until palette page 6 is used for the primary tileset, okay? Everything from palette page 7 to 12 is mainly used for the secondary tileset, and then there is still palette page 13, 14 and 15. Let me tell you, don't use them. They might look the way like you could use them, but actually you can't. They are used for different purpose in the game, okay? Never use them. There's also something else I want to mention. There is actually a technique where you can use the palette pages for the primary tileset for the secondary tileset, but it doesn't work with Hexmaniac Advance. It only works with Advanced Map, but it's some more difficult and advanced stuff, definitely. So if you're not very experienced, don't do it. And I don't suggest at all that you do this, because Hexmaniac and Advanced Map, they store and save stuff differently, so you can easily mess up things, okay? So I don't advise to do this. Alright, let's get back to our list. So now we speak about the meaning of primary and secondary. Why is there even a primary and the secondary, and why does every single map have a primary and a secondary? We speak in this case about block set and tile set, because for both primary and secondary, both are unique, okay? The reason is, as you can see in this example, my Cherry Blossom City right here, it has this torii gate, right? Obviously I only need the torii gate for this Japanese inspired city. I don't need this one for every single map in the game, right? But however, if you check out those trees right here and those rocks we just spoke about, they are obviously used on several maps in the game, which means those kind of tiles are more rather used in the primary tile set, alright? And the more unique and specific tiles are rather used on the secondary tile and block set. But why do we have to do this? And there must be some kind of reason, right? Well, there is, let me tell you. Let's go to the map which is connected to our city. It has a different secondary tile set, as you can see. It has this huge tower here, and it has those Japanese-inspired lampposts. Those aren't on this map, as you can see here. There's a completely different tile and block set. So, what we do right now is having an area, like we call this, transition zone, alright, of 7 blocks on both sides of the connection. You see, all those like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks are used from the primary tile set. What happens if we don't do this? Let me copy this part here, which is of the secondary tile set, and place it here. And then let's save it up and see why we actually shouldn't do this. As you can see, this is not what we placed, right? Look what happens here to the graphic. Looks really odd, right? So this is happening because we don't have a transition zone. You can only show off on one map the tiles that are also used on the other map, and if not, it will glitch, as you can see here in this example. So always keep in mind, when you have map connections, you should have a transition zone of at least 7 blocks on each side long. Alright, now that we have that out of the way and you understand what the words actually mean, we can speak about how do we create an entirely new tile set, right? So what we're going to do for this is right click on the right side and create an entirely new map. We will use the same bank as the one we are already in, which is map bank 3. Hit OK. And as you can see, we have a brand new map right here. It now shares the exactly same secondary tile set as our city. Now comes a problem with this, so let me close this one. Let's say we want to edit this map now and also its tile set. So let's go to the secondary. You see, it has again this little house right here. What happens if I delete this house right now and completely add the transparency color here? Let's go back to the map. And whoops, you can see the houses are gone. This is awful, right? We don't want that. So how are we going to fix this? Let me undo this so the houses are back. What we do is we go to the new map, click Edit Map Header, and then hit Data Operations. Now this window might look a bit confusing to you at first, but let me tell you it's really not. So what you mainly need to know is, on the left side is everything for the primary tileset, on the right side is everything for the secondary tileset, which we are now trying to edit, right? So you have one row for blocks, you have one row for tileset, and you have one row for palette. So basically everything we just spoke about up here, correct? So the first thing we're going to do is hit Repoint. Now for blocks, tileset, and palette, the three Repoint options unlock as well, so we click these two. Alright. What are we going to do now? We have three different ways after doing this. So if I would, by the way, like delete this again, like this, I forgot to show you. Remember we did this before, but we deleted our houses in the city. Whoopsie, I think I accidentally hit the wrong image editor. Hold on. Like secondary. Yeah, let's just delete this one. Hit save. Yeah, you can see the houses are not gone now. That was my bad. So you see the repointing actually worked and the houses are still here. So we can now edit this tile set, even though the house is not here anymore. The houses in the city is still there, as you can see. So we properly repointed everything now. Now there are three ways for us to import or insert or even draw new tiles and add them to that new map, okay? So we're going to start with the import and export from another ROM like Emerald to Fire Red, for example, since I'm on Hubble, which is Fire Red. But in this case, we want to... hold on, let me pause for a moment, the door knocked. Alright, sorry for that one. I'm back right now. What I wanted to show you is how to import and export entire tile sets, block set, and palettes. I already opened up my Emerald ROM, and what we are going to do now is, again, map header. So what I want to show you is this beach. We're going to export and import the entire block set of the beach, Route 109, alright? Edit map header, data operations, and then you have those little secondary files for blocks, tileset, and palette here. You hit export for blocks. We go to the folder where we want to have it, call it blocks. Then we go to data operations again. Export the tile set and call it tileset. Data operations. Go to the palette. Hit export again. Now it gets a little bit different because here you cannot name the file. It's going to be a lot of files because of the palette pages. Instead, you go one folder back and click the entire folder where you want to have it. And then choose that one. Let's check if everything's fine. Yeah, everything's in here, as you can see. So all the different palette pages, the block and the tileset bin. The bin files, keep that in mind. You cannot edit them actively, okay? They are only for export and import. So now that we have that, let's go back to our new map. And click again data operations. Secondary, let's take the blocks. Import the blocks we just exported. Data operations, file, import the tileset this time. And for the third time, import. This time again, one folder back, click like before with exporting, choose the right folder and import everything. So sometimes, like in this case, the block set gets a little bit messed up. That happens if the block set from the other game has a different size than this one, but that's really no problem because you will see if I go to edit block and go to secondary, let's close that one for now, to secondary, you see everything is fine now here, right? It's just the same like in Emerald. If you go through the palettes, you see they are also correct. Like you see the parasols right here, everything's correct. Yeah, you know what? We just take the parasols as an example now. Let's undo this because that was the first technique. This way you can completely import the stuff. So let me undo this one. Block secondary. All right. There's the house again. Yeah, you know what? Let's just take this place again, because the second technique I'm going to show you is how to insert. Let's say you want to only insert single tiles and not the entire thing from Emerald. Okay, we hit secondary again in Emerald. We only want the parasols. So check out what the right palette page is. It's this one. What you can do now is, and that is pretty cool and simple, you hold CTRL on your pad, and then left click all the colors. Right click and hit copy. Then you go over to your game again. Go into your secondary. And you know the palette page which I used for the house was palette page 7. All you have to do is now right click again and paste. And swoop, you have the entire colors copied within a second. This is really helpful. And just make sure before you do that no other tile which you're using is using the same color page as my house did, because otherwise you screw those up. But this way we are good. And what we can do now is we hit the selection button. We can simply like even take this one if you want. Then CTRL and copy, go over to our other tile set, and you see it perfectly fits in there. So then we would just save, and now we could again build blocks out of it. But before we do that, I want to show you the last technique, which is inserting single tiles from the internet. Now I'm not going to lie, this is a bit more annoying than the way we just did. You're going to see why. So you can look on Google for images which contain like amazing tiles. You can see here a lot of cool stuff. I think here are even the buildings we used. Yeah, here they are. Let's say we want to import this Charizard statue, okay? What we are going to do is we need to get every single color like this, then copy it, go to HMA. We are going to use this palette now because it's the easiest to work with, and then every single color you go back again. You have to manually copy and paste the hex code like I do. And you would do that until the entire statue is finished. Now I'm not going to do it. As you can see, it works. Then you hit the select button again, copy paste the stuff like this, okay, and then it would be in here. You do that for the entire statue, okay. Here can come some problems at times. This is not only the long way and the annoying technique, but you often have to do it because the really cool stuff is only on the internet and not in Emerald, obviously. So here comes some problems. I mentioned them here as well. So the first thing that can happen is, I take those trees here for example, that shadows that are thrown from objects, like from the trees right here or from the bell right here, they are also on the transparency field. You can see the little squares, right? They are part of this transparency. This can cause issues, and you have to find some ways to get around it. Now, the way I found to get around it is to copy paste the entire thing except for the shadow, like you would then draw a line here so the shadow is not part of it, and then piece by piece you copy paste the stuff that is not part of the shadow, like this. Okay, and at the end you can draw the shadow yourself. All you gotta do is hit the little pen right here and then draw it with the correct color, but it's not copy and pasting it. And the second issue that can happen, let's go back to Charizard. I think it has this really dark black, right? Yeah, this is the absolute black, which is an entire 0 hex code. If we copy that one over, let's paste that one here as well. It might look the same, but it's actually not the same, as you can see here. The problem is if you then try to select this one again and copy the entire statue, it's not even, there we go. So it tried to insert it here, and as you can see, it's completely blank. There's just nothing, right? And the problem is HMA sometimes has issues with recognizing absolute black. So this those zeros. I don't know why it is this way, but it definitely is this way. I experience this a lot now. So what you would have to do and how you could fix it is you pick every single black that is here in the image and change its color, like just slightly. It's okay if you only like drag it from here to here, so it's not 0 hex code anymore, and then just okay. And then you would do that with all the black in the Charizard, and then you can copy it. Okay, so that's a bit more of an annoying technique, but yeah, you will have to use this one a lot, sadly. Now let me undo the colors again, so we have the correct parasol colors. Perfect. Okay, let's move on. Open this one again. So now that I showed you all 3 ways of getting new tiles into your tile set, let's speak about how to build a block out of these tiles, okay? So we have those 3 parasols. Let's close these and go to our new map again. Now in the secondary tile set you search for secondary block set, I apologize. You search for 3 blocks which look like this, but technically, just so you know, all of these blocks are free as well, because remember, we repointed them before, right? We don't destroy our other city with it. So we're just gonna pick these, and when we hit edit block, this window opens again. Now we have to pick the right palette, which, remember, it was palette 7 where we did our parasol for. There it is. Okay, you can see them here already. So remember, a block is made out of 8 tiles in general. 4 for the foreground, which is here, and 4 for the background, which is here. So what we are going to do now is mix both up. Let's place them just like puzzle pieces here. And for the bottom we pick these. Alright, now you might wonder, how does Emerald do it that there is an entire parasol, but we only have half of it, right? There's only half of it in the tile set. Well, there is a cool function. What you're gonna do is now you mirror everything. Like, you place your tiles the other way, and then you have this little arrow here to mirror the stuff in a horizontal way, like this. And there you can see it's already correct. You could also mirror them in a vertical way, but we obviously don't need that here, so yeah, let's just do this one properly. Again, mirror it. No, yeah, like this. So you can see our parasol is finished now, but if we would place it right here, this looks awful, right? Because there's still the transparency color and we have no background. So I suggest we edit this as well. So I know that palette page 3 uses the grass which is in the background. So let's just pick the proper tile right here and then fill the entire background with it. Alright? So as you can see, the tile on the block on the bottom left has already the proper background. Now here comes another cool function. You can also copy and paste entire blocks, so you don't have to puzzle piece every single thing. The bottom one is for the background and the upper one is for the foreground. You can just hit the little copy background tiles, and now you go to the other ones and hit the paste. And see, they have all grass now in the background. So if we place it like this, we would have like little parasols here in blue. Okay, now the cool thing for the diversity, remember when we had the rocks earlier on, let's copy and paste the foregrounds again. Oops, that was wrong. I copied the wrong one. My bad. Like this. And now you could go up and search here for, yeah, either like the real sand or this one, I don't mind. Let's just take this one. Then paste them in there. I guess this looks more like emerald, for example. And then you had diversity, even more of them. This way you can combine stuff, so it's pretty handy and helpful. Yeah, that's about building blocks, about the foreground, the background, and about flipping tiles. So the next important thing is tile behavior and layer, terrain, and encounter, which is part again of the select block option here. The behavior is in most cases normal for normal tiles. Yeah, for tiles all around your game, I guess. But there are some specific ones. I suggest you make yourself give yourself a look here and check everything out. Here's stuff like east arrow warp and like for doors and ladders, cave doors, like cave entries. So here's a lot of cool stuff to find and figure out. But in this case we just need normal. This is just like yeah, the normal case. Then we have layer. The layer describes where the tile is shown compared to your player sprite, okay, to NPCs, NPC sprites as well. If we have normal, the tile, the block, I mean, is shown in front of the player. So that means the player would be hidden. Like we see the player walk here, but once we are stepping on this block, the block is actually hiding the sprite. For covered, this means the block is covered by the sprite of the player or the NPC. So in this case, we would walk on top of the parasol. And then there's also the split option, which is, I think, in vanilla used in rare cases, but it is actually used for the parasol because it has those two conditions, right? If you walk here, that you still see parts of it. So usually you don't need split. It's only for the parasol case, funnily the case. But let's go over to the city so I can show you again. For example, for the front side of your building down here, you usually want to have covered, because if the player walks here, you don't want the head to be missing in the wall, right? So the head is actually in front of the building. But if you walk behind the Pokemon Center here, like in this area, then you want to have the normal layer. So the player gets hidden because he's behind the building, right? So that's what's layer for. Then there is also the terrain option, which is yeah, only having 3 options: normal, grass, and water. You normally only need normal, as it says. Grass and water should be kind of obvious and self-explaining, but you might be still wondering, why do I need that if there is encounter? Well, let's put a field of grass here, like this. So remember, when you walk as a player through the grass, there is this this nice animation while you move through the grass, and it's like a little, yeah, not like really shiny, but maybe you know what I mean. Just check it out yourself when you walk through the grass through in your game, and you'll see this little grass animation, and that is basically what it's telling here, the terrain too. play the animation around the player in the grass. Then there's also the encounter, which only works here for grass and water. So if you step on those certain tiles, which is here the case for grass, you can get grass encounter, right? You can only get grass encounter, obviously, if you also created wild data, which is here not the case. So it wouldn't work without creating the wild data first. And then there is one final thing I would like to show you, and it's about tile efficiency. We kind of spoke about it already when it comes to the parasol, but if you check out Emerald again, you'll see this a lot in Emerald's tile sets. The parasol is only halfway created, right? As you can see in Emerald, the tile sheet is pretty full, and here's almost no space left. Only like here and here are a few tiles left which you can use. Even the lighthouse of Slateport is only done in half, and I know a lot of people like to have the entire building in the tile set finished basically already, but this is not really efficient, okay? So the efficient way of using the maximum space of your tile set, if you really want to include a lot of different buildings and plans or whatever in your city and routes, is by often creating only half of the parasol or half of the lighthouse to being super efficient and using as much space and room of your tile set as you can, okay? Yeah, so that's basically it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. If I missed something, make sure to hit me up in the comments and I try to explain it there. And otherwise, I hope you have a great time hacking and hope you learned something today. Thank you.